Hey guys, welcome to my channel, welcome to my stream, welcome to another chapter working on this guy right there. That's Chip Foose's 68 Firebird. So we will roll that intro and yeah, really, and we'll get started, okay? Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching. You can see I've got some stuff laid out on my desk. The car is black now. I went over it with Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. So all my sprues, everything is all black. I've got a couple of, a couple of things are taken off the sprues just for ease of painting, but basically everything is black. Hi, I am from Canada. Yeah, western side of Canada in British Columbia. Yeah. Yeah, I've assembled one of the wheels because I was looking at how it's going to sit on the chassis. But basically, I got everything's black. Painted the whole chassis black. Everything's black on here. At least everything that I'm going to be using. So all the sprues went through it. Took me about an hour or so. And yeah, so we got that done. Did a lot of work on the engine. Got the engine kind of assembled. Working on that last time. Is IR true? Or is it true that Canadians are so friendly and kind people, or just rumors? I would say that for the most part, the rumors are true. In Canada, we try to be kind, we try to be friendly. We're very open to others, and yeah, for the most part, I'd say it's true. Of course, it's true anywhere. You're gonna find jerks, people who aren't friendly, but I'd say probably, for the most part, we're pretty friendly here. Yeah. So, as I was saying, a lot of work on the engine. I took the blower off of it so that I could paint it separately. Did a lot of work getting the fan belt from the kit. Let me change the to the overhead camera so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Here we are. So, as you can see here, I've got the one of the fan belts on. I got the alternator on there. The way the alternator's actual little arm, adjusting arm, it actually fits perfectly on the front of the block there. That is perfect, just like that. Put the valve covers on there, got the breather on there, painted the headers and put them on. These are the headers that actually come with the engine. These are not the kit headers, and so they're gonna sit a little bit different than what the other ones would have. That being said, let me show you the kit ones and how they sit on the block. So where the headers mount on this block, they actually go, let's get this, grab one here. I got it painted black just in case I was going to be using it, but they get mounted up, oops, got it on the right side here. They would go in just like this on the block, okay? Just like that. They kind of sit, normal heads on engines, the headers sit out at an angle, but these sit right directly at the bottom like that. Nice country. Can I ask you what you are doing over there for a living? I work as a parts person. If you don't know what a parts person is, you can imagine a car dealership. In a car dealership, you have a sales department, you got a service department, you have a parts department. A parts person works in the parts department and sells the parts for the cars. And that's pretty much what I do. Okay? Anyway, so there's the headers. Okay? So this would sit in like this, line up our little pin on there to that, and it's going to sit in just like this, like that, and that's how the engine would sit in your chassis, just like that. Now you can see how far down the headers sit. Okay, if I sit this like this, get that the right angle, the headers sit pretty low in this. Okay, now when I put my engine in there, if I put this guy in and line him up in there, my headers don't sit low at all. They're actually tucked up inside just a little bit. You see that there? They're tucked up. So that's going to make a little bit of a challenge getting our exhaust pipes lined up in there. They're going to have to sit kind of like this. Like that. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be decent enough that, yeah. So speaking of which, I still have to paint these aluminum. I'm thinking of heating them up, actually. I'm thinking of heating them up and bending them a little bit so that they line up to the headers a little better rather than being at such a strange angle. So just do this. There we go. So because basically they're going to sit like this, and that's going to look weird underneath, right? Or sitting like this. Yeah, really. They kind of sit like this, and so I would rather they sit more straight like that and then have a bend. I would rather they kind of just go like do like that, and kind of an S as it comes out, and go like this and bend out and be straight. That's how they would do it in an actual muffler shop, rather than just being like this. So yeah, I'm still debating on what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do that. But I still have to do, as you can tell, all this white in here. This is all the shaving that I had to do on the frame to get this engine to fit in there. Okay, you see all that white in there? Yeah, I had a lot of, I've got plastic filings and shavings all over my floor from working on this yesterday to get this engine to fit in this frame properly, just to get it to sit with the exhaust on it, because it's a pretty wide engine, and clearly they didn't build this kit with this engine in mind. But that's alright, and that's kind of what doing custom stuff is all about. So anyway, I need to redo this, so I want to get that done today. I have my blower painted. Blower's painted chrome, which looks really fantastic, using the Molotov liquid chrome, this stuff here. Okay, this stuff is chrome like nobody else. I don't know any other brand that does chrome as good as these guys. You lay it on thick and it just comes out flawless. It's great. Yeah, so I still have to do the little intake hood. I did paint it black. It's black now. It's a nice gloss base coat like that, so it's black. And yeah, so we're just gonna let that, I'm letting that dry while before I hit it with the chrome. So let's get the wires done on this guy. Clearly I've got the distributor on there. I gotta run the wires. Okay, so I'm gonna change my glasses actually, just so I can more easily see. Let's get our wires. This super long one is for the coil, so let's grab this one. Now it is only just held in there, so you got to be a little careful. It might move around. Yeah, I did just glue it a few minutes ago, so I want to hit it with some accelerator. Using the CA glue, of course. Let's just put a little drop on there and make sure that's going to stay. Okay. I do have my fan belt for the blower and the fan. Okay. I do have a pin for it to actually run into the water pump. That'll give me a good guide, but the pin's not quite long enough, so I got it upside down. But it's close. It does go into the water pump. That's basically where it's going to sit once the blower is on there. The main thing is to have it lined up with the blower. So yeah, that's going to be that there. Okay. Yeah, we're getting there, although slowly. Okay, so this wire I'm going to run. I'm going to fold 4 of them over to the sides. Well, actually, I'm going to fold all of them over, but Let's get these ones. And 3. And 4. Let's get this one out of the way. And these 2 like that. Okay. Press down, get a nice fold on them, like it would be in real life. There we go. So now it's just running them into the spark plug holes, which I have pre-drilled. But now with the headers on, they're a little bit tricky to see and get in at, right? But that's okay. This one's a little bit short. I want to take the longest one to go to the front. And kind of bend them around the valve cover here, like this. And my distributor just came off. Beautiful. What I'm going to do is drill out this hole so that little pin can go in a little deeper. Since it wants to be like that, I'm going to drill this hole. I'll drill a little bit wider, but
eventually
I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it in my little tool. I can't believe I've done half an hour just doing this garbage. We're going to do some I'm resorting to Dremel. Okay. It's this kind of stuff you can see why you might be kind of turned off from doing all this custom stuff, because you wind up with little problems like this. Okay, so I know now I've got a good shaft there. I want that kind of length. So we're going to cut this off about there and see how that goes in. Just a hair too long. By a hair, I mean about 1/2 millimeter. So about there. Just about dropped the engine. Well, actually I did drop it, but I mean on the floor. Okay, there we are. We finally get that distributor sit in that hole with the shaft where it's supposed to go. Okay, so back to the glue. I need more glue. Okay. We're in. Shove that down in there. There we go. We are in, finally. Fill that in there so it don't go anywhere. Okay, we can finally get back to our wires. And as I was saying before, we're going to bend them around the valve cover here. Okay, that was a nice little 15-minute distraction. Put all these other things away. Okay, so number 1 wire. Let's say number 1. I don't even know the correct firing order for a Chevy engine. I was always a Ford guy in my younger days.
1 hour later.
All right. So we finally have our wires in. Those are finally done. So after all that, finally done. I'll clean up all my little trimmings here. Okay, so we'll just continue. Okay, with that done, the wire's finally done and installed. I can move on to other things. I'll let that sit for a minute. I'm going to make sure my compressor's fired up, and we're going to do a little bit of painting. I'm going to do a little more of the Mr. Surfacer 1500. I've got to do the frame. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this up over here so I don't accidentally touch some CA glue. I'm going to do some Mr. Surfacer 1500. I need to do some aluminum on the exhaust pipes and the drive shaft. There's all kinds of this stuff. I find car models, there's a lot more detail painting than there is actually building. Funny enough. If that seems funny, then yeah, I'm not sure why. I wind up doing a lot more painting on small little detail stuff than I do actually assembling everything. It's kind of funny. So I'm going to mix this with some Mr. Surfacer or Mr. Leveling Thin, Mr. Color Leveling Thinner. I like to mix this stuff with this just so that it lays down nice and smooth, and it's more like it acts more like what it would if I was spraying it out of an aerosol can or a rattle can, if you will. I like doing that. I do like the rattle can stuff just because it lays down thick, it lays down consistent every time. I know what I'm getting into when I use the rattle can. But it's also this is a lot more cost effective using this stuff because it does go that much farther. Perfect example, looking at the sprues. I was able to much more control exactly what gets painted on this because I used my airbrush rather than the rattle can. Right? I didn't have to mask anything off, and I was able to paint just exactly what I wanted with that, like that. That being said, though, getting in at different angles and stuff like that is a little difficult. And if I had the rattle can, I go psh, and it would layer it on there and be done, right? But yeah. Okay, so we'll pour this into my cup. It's probably all I need. I will switch the camera so you can watch me paint. Let's see. Oh, new paint technique. Yeah, kinda. Okay, let's see here. I'll change this up and we'll take a look here. All right. So as you can see, I've got the body laid out. I did put this car, the option to have the tachometer sitting on the hood like that. Obviously, I need to paint that. And I got a little touch up, a little bit on the edge of the hood and on the front there. So yeah, we'll do that. I need to put my needle into my airbrush so that I can actually control how it comes out. And just do this. Like that. Just getting my edges first. And I'm going to go over the Okay, I'm going to call the hood done. Set him down over there. There was a little spot on the body just right there on my jeans. Did I drip paint on my jeans? On my pants? I did too. That's paint. Fun stuff. Anyway, there was a little spot there I kind of missed. So I want to just retouch that on the A-pillar there on the body. The rest of the body is pretty well covered. I don't think I missed anywhere else on it, so I think that's good. What else? We needed our frame. We needed to do the frame. Everywhere that I gouged at with my hobby knife, anywhere that's going to be visible. I think I got everywhere here done. I want to do underneath the hood, and every spot that's under there, I want that to be kind of a semi-gloss black. Speaking of that, speaking of color, I was asked what color I'm actually planning on doing the car. Originally, I was thinking of doing blue. I didn't want to do gloss black. Okay. Okay, that's done. I don't think I've got. Oh yes, I do. I have to touch up on the seats. I noticed on the sides of the seats I didn't quite get very well. So I need to touch these up. Actually, why don't I just take them off the screws and do this. Now I'll switch this up. Here we go. I'll take these seats off and I'll actually assemble them and I'll paint them. That's going to be the best way to make sure I get all the angles, and they are covered completely. Is to actually assemble them. Yeah, hit the floor, why don't you? Let the seats hit the floor, let the seats hit the floor. Clean these up. Get our little nubs fixed up. So what I want to do, I'm going to just basically use some semi-gloss. These just go together like that, and of course now you can see the different tone from not getting enough on there. So let's just glue these together. Get along the top too. There we go. Okay. Same thing with these two. Now I know they tried to give us pins, guide pins, so that these would stay together. They didn't do a very good job. In fact, these two don't really want to go together at all. But with a little glue and a little pressure, or maybe a lot of glue and a lot of pressure, we'll hold this like that for a second. And he's together. Okay. All right. So I'm going to take some tape like this, put it on here, like that, and then like this, stretch it. There we go. And we can go. What I'll do actually is I'll hit this first. I'll hit it. Yes, I'm going to hit it. There. Just to kind of cover up my little nub there. That way I can do this. And I'll do the same on this one. I'll just paint this edge here. There we go, so that's black now. And then I can do that, and that's one edge I don't have to worry about. I can focus on every other edge on these seats, okay? So, now I can do the sides. Get it all one nice, consistent color. And yeah, the tape is shake around a little bit. That's okay though. There we go. So our seats are done. That's nice. They're not really done. I'm gonna spray them with a semi-gloss to give that look that they're leather. Right. I'm going to go through my sprues and see if there's anything else that I need to touch up on. I want to see how this fits into the back of the car. Okay. Let's see if I need to touch this guy up. Okay. So. See how this guy fits in there. Sits like that. Okay, so if that's how he fits, obviously he sits on those little knobs. And if it just sits flush, fine, but he might sit back, so I want to do the inside here and here, just in case, if any of that's going to show. So I don't want any of that showing. Okay, and he's fine, I think, as far as his look, how he looks. Looks pretty good. Just gonna do another coat on the inside here, just for consistency. There we go. Okay, I think we're done, guys, as far as all that stuff is concerned. Hood looks good. Okay. So, with that done, I'm going to dump out the rest of my paint here. This is a good lesson to learn, guys, just to make sure that you get your needle put in your airbrush. I had black paint all down the back of the barrel inside the thing. I had to completely dismantle it and rinse it time and time again with the thinner to clear out all the black paint that was inside the barrel of the airbrush. So, lesson learned, make sure the needle is back in it first. So, as I already mentioned, Molotow chrome is extremely fragile, okay? If I touch this, it is going to basically get really dull and just look like silver and not look like chrome anymore. In my experiment that I did before, I had tried various different clear coats. I tried Tamiya X22, I tried the TS13, I tried Mr. Hobby's GX100, a bunch of different things. The one thing I have discovered was the Revell polyurethane gloss varnish. This stuff. I'll be honest, I don't remember what my results were with this. I think this one turned out all right. Okay, and so I'm going to try this one. I'm going to try this again. What I don't remember is if I need to thin this out first before I spray it. I do not think I have to. This is water-based, and so it definitely doesn't attack the it's not going to attack the paint. It's water-based. Can be used directly with an airbrush without dilution. When it does say with a needle of 0.4, my needle's 0.2. But I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. If I do need to thin it, I could probably use Vallejo's airbrush flow improver. Probably. I might, you know, realistically, I might want to, well, we'll give it a shot here. We'll give it a shot. I'll put a few drops in my airbrush and see how it sprays. Okay, just a little bit in there. Let's see how this sprays. How? Yeah, really. I can't. 3 more drops, just a tiny little bit. I am only painting one part after all. Yeah, really. Okay, and I'll change this here and we'll have a look at it. Let's see. Okay. So, pull back the trigger all the way and you spray this guy. Okay. Okay, and that's about it. We need to let that dry for a few minutes, and I'll do another coat. Okay. Now, I believe on the instructions on the bottle here, apply 2 coats of varnish with 4-hour interval. So, if I'm going to follow the instructions, that's what I'm going to do. So, that means that gets to sit there. Actually, I'm just going to put it up over here. Leave that 4-hour timer. Okay. So what I'm going to do is dump this out. It's nice that I don't have to thin it. It's also nice that it cleans up with water, which means I can clean that out just with some water I have here. Put that in there. Swish it around a little bit just to make sure it's clean. don't trust that. Especially. Yeah, I just need to make sure that all the water's out of the brush there. And I want to put a little bit of thinner in there too, and just kind of rinse it out, just to make sure that I've got everything out. There it is, there's the black version of the hood. So get some thinner, and I'll just put some thinner in there before I put the chrome in. I don't want to risk the Molotow chrome actually mixing with any kind of water droplets that might still be in the airbrush. I would prefer that mixes with the lacquer thinner, because it does mix with the thinner. You can thin it with lacquer thinner. I've done it before and it works good. So yeah, just making sure I'm running thinner through the brush instead of water, that's all. So I'll just close it up and we'll get ready. Go with our liquid chrome, shake it up a little bit first just to make sure, and just pour a little bit in the tip of the brush. Don't need much, just painting one small part after all, so just a few little drops into the bottom there is all we're going to need. Put the lid back on because I don't want to risk knocking it over and spilling it, so just make sure that's done. And we'll switch and we'll start painting. It goes on really quickly and it covers great, but again, you do want to put it on thick because Molotow likes to be painted thick so it can level out, and when it levels out, that's when it becomes like super chrome. So yeah, just doing a nice heavy coat on it, and then basically just calling that done. Just about done anyway. There we go. Not sure why I'm having audio problems, but here we are. And yeah, so now the hood's painted chrome, and we gotta let that sit and dry for a couple of hours, maybe even overnight, just to make sure the chrome is done and it's gonna be okay. So yeah, that's that. So clean up the brush and get all that nice chrome out of the airbrush and ready for the next time I need to paint. We're gonna do all that. So speaking of chrome, I will put the link up to the top there, so you can see my videos when I was testing out the Molotow chrome to see what kind of clear coats, if any, would actually be okay to spray over it and retain that nice shiny chrome look. It was a challenge, and of course I was still kind of learning how to spray with my airbrush just to get it to spray down properly. So yeah, that was a challenge in and of itself, but in any case, just cleaning up the brush here and basically going to finish it off for the day, and let all the paint dry that we did today and let it sit. A few hours from now I'll put a second clear coat on the blower. That only takes a couple of minutes, so that's fine, but as per the instructions on the bottle, I'm going to let it sit for a few hours and then do that. So, you know, down in the description box below there is going to be some links, and you know, you can check out my Instagram and check out my Twitch, and you can follow me on Twitch if you want to watch me live. You can talk to me while I'm doing this stuff. I usually do stream early in the morning, so well, maybe if you're in another time zone, maybe it'll be in the afternoon for you, who knows. Anyway, I know that something like 73% of you guys who watch my videos have not subscribed, so I really appreciate that if you hit the subscribe button too. And leave comments down below if you want to also. And you know, once we do get 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be doing that collaboration, building the Porsches with my fiance. She'll be in the videos. You can see she's never done a model before, although I think she does have some artistic talent, so she's probably not going to be too much of a challenge at it. She'll probably do pretty good. But she's never built a model before in her life, so it's all going to be new to her too. So it'll be an interesting little series. So yeah, please hit that subscribe button, hit like. Yeah. As you can see, just cleaning up my needle there, and just getting it all finished up. And yeah, so this time making sure I do put the needle back in the brush so that I don't have to worry about that again. As you can see, I like to put the needle in there with a little thinner on it and push it back through to see any paint that may have gone into the body. It pushes it back through to the cup, and then we can clean it off in there again. So yeah, again, I'm not sure what was going on with my audio. It just decided to mute on me while I was blabbing away on it. So yeah, had to record over this all. So fun stuff, fun stuff. Sometimes it's a challenge, sometimes it's fun, right? So yeah, just gotta clean it all up, finish it, and be done. Just kind of loading all up for my last little bit there. Still cleaning the needle, and yeah, all that good stuff. Again, guys, hit that like button, hit subscribe please, and we'll see you in the next one.